I read this comment section and now I won't be sleeping tonight. Your scariest paranormal experience. I had sleep paralysis with the Babadook. I couldn't move and he was tickling me. I've never been so scared in my life. What is the Babadook? Rather than just being a standard movie boogeyman, the Babadook is deeply psychological and metaphorical entity that represents unprocessed grief, clinical depression, and trauma. Oh, absolutely not. An old clock that was passed down from my great-grandmother, the chiming wind is jammed so you can't wind them up. It only ever makes noise when a family member is about to die. Every time, without fail. What? One day I was sleeping on the couch in the living room and woke up in the middle of the night to a whisper in my ear saying, "Look in the corner." I did and saw a hanged woman for like 5 seconds. I'm never sleeping in the living room again. Girl, I'd never sleep in that house again. My phone started talking in the middle of the night, like human talking. No joke. What? I was in my closet picking an outfit for the day and then a ghost farted. Yeah, blame it on the ghost. Something entered my room one night and never left. I was wide awake but too scared to look. I heard it entering and closing the door and its breathing was delayed. What do you mean it never left? This isn't scary, but I was laying in bed listening to music and felt a spirit press against me, and I checked the song name and it was called Haunt Me. My nan died in that room. I'm sorry, that's not scary to you? When I was little and I went to the cemetery with my parents, I stopped and started waving my hand at the grave where a young girl had died, and when my parents asked who I was waving to, I replied, "The little girl who is sitting here." A few years after my mom passed, I was 6 when she passed, and this happened about 2 years later. I was in my room one day and I was crying in my room because I missed her, and a few minutes later I heard a soft whisper that said, "I love you." To this day, I don't know if it was my imagination or not. One time I had a dream where I went downstairs to get a glass of water. Didn't know it was a dream at all. I could feel the cold and everything. I went back up to my room and in the very corner was maybe a 10-foot tall black figure staring down at my sleeping body, which I could see too. And then it snapped and looked at me, which is when I woke up. I had a massive scratch mark going across the middle of my back. What? I was on a Zoom call and my teacher said, "Can you tell your sister to stop peeking through the door?" I was home alone. When I was 12, my door opened slightly and I heard a man whispering my name and come to me late at night. It was not a family member as my dad is the only man in the house and he insisted it wasn't him. Probably paranoia, but I was scared. I don't think it was just paranoia. Sometime last year, I was trying to sleep and I always face the wall when I sleep. Around 2 a.m., I felt really cold all of a sudden and then I felt someone lean over me, like my mattress went down and I felt someone there. I panicked and I literally wafted my arms around and turned and nobody was there. The next morning, I went to tell my mom and she told me she saw a man in the corner of her room. She thought it was my dad, but she turned in her bed to see if he was there and he was. She said she just stared at him. She couldn't look away. Nobody believed me or my mom, but it still creeps me out. Yeah, there's no way you both saw something and it was nothing. I was on FaceTime with my best friend and I saw a little girl pass by my door and my phone fell out of my hand. I literally didn't move for 5 minutes. What? I had sleep paralysis and Donald Trump came out of my wall closet and just stood there watching me in bed. It was pretty terrifying. Girl, just move. My mom was staring at me smiling on the staircase. My door was slightly open and it was all I could see. I was laughing and told her to stop and it carried on, and when I went out she wasn't there. I asked her in the morning and it wasn't. What do you mean it wasn't? In the middle of the night, my brother woke me up. We heard chanting and screaming and scratching at the window. Went to wake up our mom and as soon as she held up a cross, it stopped. We never heard or saw anything again. When I was little, my mom said I would wake up screaming. I would point to the darkest corner saying, "Charlie is here." My dog would start barking like crazy at the corner, and 4 years later, a movie came out about little kids seeing something named Charlie. In the middle of the night, I woke up and it felt like someone was watching me, and I glanced at the corner of my room and there was just a big shadow right there, and I tried to see the face and it looked a little like the Babadook. Yo, what is this monster and why are so many of you seeing it? My mom said I once told her I was playing with Uncle James. He died when he was about 8, probably 30 years before I was born, and my mom had never said anything. I claim no negative energy from this, or whatever you're supposed to say.